Now it's the time for homework one. In this video, I'm going to explain homework one for you and what you need exactly to submit and what is the requirements. So, how many of you have a dog? If you said yes, this homework will help you to determine the dog age. As you know, human and dog age differently. So, for 1 year old dog, it's equal to around 10 and a half years of a dog age. So you are creating a small program that's gonna calculate how old is your dog in human year. So in this program, we're gonna ask you to do 3 steps. But first, I will show you the output and the run of the homework, then I will take you through the requirements. So if I'm gonna run the homework using the terminal, uh, to run it, call it. So write Python. P.py. All right. So the first thing that's going to happen is the system is going to ask you what is the dog name. Let's say the dog name is Moogie. Okay, this is the my son's dog's name. It's a real name. And then it will ask you another question. What is what year was Moogie? If you notice the name that I passed, Moogie is born. Let's say Moogie was born in 2018. Okay. And then it's going to ask you what is the size of Mugi. You're going to pass S for small, M for medium, or L for large. Let's say Mugi is small. And then it will ask you what is the current year. So now we are in 2025. And then it will display some information, some calculated information. It's telling you if the dog name was 2 human years old. So the dog should be 21 years old based on the calculation. And if it's 4, it's a 29. If it's 6, it's 37. And then this is in a bonus point where you're gonna need to print how old is this animal if it was a cat. So if was a cat, it should be 44 years old, but now as a dog, Mugi is 41 years old. This is part one of the assignments. Part two, you will compare between your age and the dog age. So here it's asking you how old are you in years? So let's say I'm 18 and I'm a liar. So it's gonna tell you that if the dog is older than you, it will give you the message that like the dog is older than you. Also, if the dog is younger than you, it's going to give you the message that the dog is younger than you. And if both of you are the same age, it will tell you that both of you are the same age. So this is the program. The program has 2 parts. Part one, it will take the dog's information. And dog two, it will take part two, it will take your information. Going back to the requirement now. So to calculate the age of the dog, we have a simple rule. This is not now 100% accurate, but it's accurate enough to be able to develop this assignment. So if the dog is 2 years old or less, you're gonna multiply the human years, the human years, like the dog age in human years multiply by 10.5. So if the dog is 1, so that's mean in a human year, the dog is 10.5 because you're gonna apply 1 by 10.5 and so on. If the dog born in a 2024 or 2023 and now the dog is 2, still 2 and less, and then you're gonna calculate. And this is how you're gonna get the dog age in a human year or in a dog year. And it's the same. If the dog is older than 2, you're gonna use another equation, which is you're gonna multiply by 2, multiply 10.5, and human minus 2 multiplied by 4. This is the equation. And as I mentioned before, we have 2 parts that you're going to display on the screen. Part one, it's asking you to print the first part. So you're going to take an input, which is the name of the dog, the year, the size, and the current year. And then you're going to print this information. If the dog was 2, 4, 6, and then how old the dog right now comparing to today's years. So how you need to do it, you need to create a file. And the file, you would name it your last name underscore first name underscore homework1.py. And then inside the file, you're gonna create your code, or you're gonna put your code there, and you're gonna run your code. So, looking at part one, and which is only taking information about the dog and doing some process and calculation and printing output. Part two, it's about comparing your age and the dog age, where the dog is older than you, you're gonna print a message. If the dog is younger than you will print a message, and if you're both at the same age, you will print a message. So this is the three lines, what those three lines indicate. This is an example. You're passing your age is 39. And then here, you're going to compare and you're going to print one of those three messages, whether it's older or younger based on the calculation. On your assignments on the top, you're going to have comments where you're going to have the file name. The file is homework1 dog age calculator. And then you will have your section, and then the author name. You're going to have your name, and then you're going to have some description about what exactly you're doing here. When you choose the name of the variables, make sure you choose a reasonable name and also use a snake case notation. Go back to the book if you don't remember that, but this is an example of a snake case notation. Everything should be in Python. Don't use any advanced code. Any project or any code that does not work, you're going to earn a 0. You need to make sure your code is working. We have an office hours almost like every single hour. You can find this information in the homepage. So go to the homepage, check the office hours, and meet with the TAs to help you if you need help. Now moving for the extra credit. If you remember, the extra credit is comparing the dog age and cat years, where you're going to print it within the block in part one. And this is the rules. Like 1 year old in a human year is equal 15 years in a cat, 2 equal 24, and everything more, it's +4 per year. And this is some example of the outcome. If you gave those data or those information, this is would be the output. If you give this data, part two, this is would be the output. So this example is when the dog is older. This example when the human is older, and this example when both of them are the same age. Please reach out early and start working from now. You're gonna need to create your assignments, and this is a great practice to implement all the previous lab's knowledge and skills, and you're gonna put them together to create this dog age calculator, and you can play with it when you finish. All right, good luck.